Court Uncut. What the people want.
Do I have none? Taryn Wahi versus Uber Technologies, Inc. 503393.
Yes, Your Honor.
Where is Mr. Lohi?
Right here.
Okay. This is 2503393. This is a small claims case. Your name, sir?
Taran Lohi.
You got to keep your voice up a lot louder than that.
Taran Lohi.
Okay, now you got to stay. I want to be able to see your face during this. And Ms. Munaz, your name?
Karina Munoz.
Can I just ask a question? I'm not sure I understand the nature of your claim. It says wrongfully deactivated from Uber on August 12th, 25 for alleged fraud, which is not true. Rider repeatedly entered same pickup drop-off locations, causing multiple trips. Rider didn't know how to, and then I can't read it. You had ordered an Uber, is that right, Mr. Lohi?
No, I'm the driver, Your Honor.
Rider repeatedly entered same pickup drop locations, causing multiple trips. I don't know what you mean by this.
So when
Why are you
you're
suing Uber Technologies for $6,500?
because Uber was my only source of income, Your Honor.
Yeah, I got to understand your claim, though. I don't understand your claim.
So, Your Honor, on August 12th, Rider repeatedly entered a pickup and drop-off location again and again, and Uber sent those trips directly to me, and I have to pick up those trips because if you deny those trips, it affects our rating. And
Okay, so slow down. Now, so you're telling me they were giving you the wrong pickup or drop-off locations?
the rider was putting the wrong pickup and drop-off location, and Uber was sending those trips to me. I have no control over what the rider puts as his drop-off location, and Uber was sending those trips to me directly.
So you're saying, as an example, if a customer went on, and I just want to make sure I understand your claim before we get into this. You're saying that if a rider gets something from Uber that tells them that you're going to pick up John Doe at Comerica Park and you're going to drive him to Mexican Gardens, and and you're saying those were wrong, and you went in, is that right or not? Did you go? Am I understanding this correctly? I'm sorry, I'm struggling here.
Let me explain this, Your Honor. So let's say you were the rider, you were requesting a trip from Uber, and you put your address and where you need to go. If you're putting it wrong, you requested it, it goes through, then it goes to a driver, and driver picks it up. He comes, picks you up, and takes you to your destination. But if the address is wrong, he has to drop you off right there where he needs to, what shows on the address.
I see. I see. Well, how does, first of all, I'm struggling with this because you're essentially alleging an intentional tort. And intentional torts, intentional acts, assault and battery, malicious destruction of property, fraud, those are intentional acts. And you're alleging that they committed an intentional act. And if they committed an intentional act and you're trying to collect, you can't come to small claims court.
Okay.
And so are you telling me that you think that Uber was intentionally telling you to take and put these drive up and to pick up at one location and drop off at another location that the customer hadn't requested or that they should have known? Or is it because they accused you of some kind of fraud because you were taking the driver to another location?
So what happened was the rider was putting the same pickup and drop-off location, and I was getting those trips, and I picked up the rider and dropped him off. And he did
How many
that about
times was
5
this the
times.
same driver?
Same rider, 5
Same
times.
rider, that's what I mean. Same rider. I apologize. How many
5
times
times.
did you take that same rider to a specific location?
Same location 5 times.
5 times. And so then what happened?
And Uber paused my account for alleged fraud, and then later they deactivated my account permanently.
Ms. Muniz, what is your position with Uber Technologies?
I'm a paralegal with Uber.
Okay, this is the one I got something on. You live in California or someplace?
Yes,
It's beautiful picture there, by the way.
thank you.
So is there something that can be done here to resolve this? Can I put the two of you in a breakout room and see if you can resolve it?
I've been in touch with the plaintiff and I have informed him that the deactivation decision is final. So the multiple trips were flagged because Uber sees this as collusion fraud. So it does appear that there was some sort of collusion with the rider to complete these short trip requests.
So you're either saying that so you think that the driver and the rider were in some kind of collusion, as you want to say it, so that Mr. Iohi, am I pronouncing that correctly, sir?
Lohi.
Lohi, I apologize. So that Mr. Lohi and him conspired, and the driver would then go to Mr. Lohi would take this passenger to a certain location, but he still had to pay for it, right?
That's correct. It's unclear since the activity happened quickly and on the same date, and the rider account was created on the same date that these trips occurred. So it's unclear, what they were actually looking to get out of this, but Uber,
Wait a minute.
sees this type of fraud pretty.
Wait. So you're telling me Uber still got their money on these trips, right?
Yes.
Well, how could there be fraud? I mean, how can you enlighten me a little bit? I'm trying to,
Yes.
listen, I haven't sworn anybody in yet. And I haven't advised you of your rights to have the case removed because I'm trying to figure out right now if this case belongs in small claims court. That's what I'm trying to do. So I don't mean to sound dense about the whole process. It doesn't make any sense. If Uber is still getting their money, how would anybody possibly benefit by acting in collusion together so that the driver's driving the rider to XYZ location? Let's say that the rider's paying $15 per trip. How would that constitute a fraud against Uber if they're still getting their money?
Yes, I mean, Uber sees this type of activity, pretty often from drivers. Sometimes they could be colluding with the rider using like a fraudulent payment method, and that's how they're paying for the fares. They could be trying to, and in this instance, what our fraud team saw was that the trips were pretty close in distance to the airport. So they could have been colluding to try to get to get dropped off at the airport, because when you get dropped off at the airport, you can get a higher fare trip leaving the airport. So it's unclear what, you know, they were trying to accomplish, but ultimately the activation decision is final. And, you know, in Uber's agreement that the driver accepted in its community guidelines, it makes clear that drivers can be deactivated for this type of activity.
But Your Honor, airport is about like 20 minutes away where this occurred.
Well, I'm trying to think of how I would handle this. Mr. Lohi, if this was truly your livelihood,
Yeah,
I think you need to get yourself a lawyer and remove the case to the General Civil Division and pursue it there.
okay.
I mean, if you're capping it at $6,500, if you're truly of the belief that this was a wrongful termination, it seems to me a wrongful termination action you could potentially file in circuit court, and I do not want to proceed here today. I mean, I hear I've got really a wrongful termination and a fraud defense. That's what it sounds like to me. So
Your Honor, in the end, all I want is my account be activated because
I know,
Uber was only my
but they don't
source of
want to do
income.
that. You already heard her, and I can't force them to do that.
Okay,
They don't want to do that. So I'm going to give you some time to get a lawyer.
okay.
How long do you think that'll take?
I'm not sure, Your Honor. Probably 3 weeks.
All right. Give me a date if you would, Lyndon, about 3 weeks, please.
Okay, how about October 20th at 9:30?
All right. And Ms. Munaz, you can still appear by Zoom now I'm going to come back here. I'm assuming he's going to have a lawyer. If he is, the lawyer is going to have to remove the case. A lawyer cannot appear in the state of Michigan on a small claims case. So they would have to remove the case. And if he does not hire an attorney, then I'll figure out when I'm going to go on that date. But you can still appear by Zoom on that day, okay?
Okay.
As can you, Mr. Lohi. You live in Brownstown, sir?
Yes, sir.
All right. And remind me, you are from San Francisco, right?
Yes, I'm located in San Francisco.
I mean, I just remember when they told me that it seemed like you were in California somewhere. Okay. All right, that's what I'm going to do. October 20th at 9:30. Thank you both. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button for more crazy court hearings like this one.